다음 소식입니다. 전쟁의 위험 속에도 우크라이나 크리스천들의 기도는 끊이지 않고 있습니다. 위기의 때에 하나님의 도우심을 구하며 기도하는 가운데 기도 응답도 이어지고 있습니다. 우크라이나인들의 기도와 그 응답은 다양하고 놀랍습니다.
I can share that one brother shared an audio from a brother from the church. So he says that his son, he's a part of the military, and he was saying that they were like in a dark night. They were holding their positions, and they've discovered that a lot of Russian Federation tanks and machines coming at them, and they might struggle defending themselves. And he picks up his phone and he calls his father. He says, "Dad, you have to pray right now. We're in a situation." So his father, he rings to other members of the church. They start praying. And then later, son gives a phone call and he says, "There's some miracle happened. It looked like some spaceship, like there was like an attack from the spaceship. There was some kind of a lightnings was starting shooting from the sky, and like sparks were like spreading everywhere. And then on the morning they've discovered that the whole machinery was destroyed. So they, like all of those soldiers, they thought maybe it was done by some kind of a weapon that we didn't know about, or it was just God's intervention." So, and there was another occasion that we just got from our friend that we know in person. We were praying that they would start resisting each other, that enemy would resist the enemy, because we know there were several biblical occasions like this, that when God was doing this. And another part of the Russian army, they occupied one little town, and they've removed flags from the town's government buildings. They attached those flags to their tanks, and they started to ride. And eventually, at the dark in the evening, they met the first group of the tanks, and so they thought they are enemies to each other, and they started shooting into each other.
리트베넨코 씨는 우크라이나를 위한 중보 기도를 당부하며 우크라이나 크리스천들이 하나님의 나라를 구하길 바란다고 전했습니다.
Well, please pray that we could hear God in this time. That we would be able to have the most deficit thing in the world, like in our country now. It's the peace in our hearts. That our God, who is the Prince of Peace, would grant the peace in our hearts, and that in this condition of the peace, we could just see the ways how we can build the kingdom in the times of war, that we could be the light and the warmth and the love and the hand of God to other people who in need. Pray that we would be active members of body of Christ in this time, that we would not just sit and be afraid and full of fear for our lives, that we would be productive in building the kingdom.